All right, Michelle. So I want to ask you about the Holman Prize. Again, you said the Holman Prize is for those that are considered legally blind in their country, and the Holman Prize gives an award of $25,000. Is that correct?
Mhm.
To the winner. And so, first of all, let me ask you, Michelle, how did you get exposed to the Holman Prize, and what's your motivation for wanting to win it?
Um, I got my guide dog Kelsey from a school called Leader Dogs for the Blind in Rochester, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm a client of theirs, everything that they receive that kind of portrays with being low vision or blind, they send out to their clients. So I actually got the Holman Prize email notification from them um, in mid February,
Mm-hmm.
and I read through the whole description thing, and I know my dad was joking with me. My dad's
Uh-huh.
like, "Is the prize the money that got your attention, isn't it?"
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "No, the part that got my attention was when it said that the prize was given to anyone who wants to achieve their dream."
Yeah.
And of course, the prize money would really help me.
Right.
But what I really wanted to do, because I just came back from studying abroad in France, and when I was there, I realized that being blind in Europe was way different from being blind in America.
Interesting. Interesting.
And because I've always had, since I became an English writing major, I've always had the thought about writing a book about what it's like to be blind in America and especially in a Hmong family.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was on my mind the whole time. But then since I just came back from studying abroad in France, I was really thinking about France and just really thinking about what it is like to be blind in different countries. And
Mm-hmm.
the spark just kind of came to me, and it's
Mm.
like, there's so many different cultures in the world, and I know a lot of people view disability in a different way, especially blindness. I know it was viewed differently in France, so I just put two and two together, and I
Mm-hmm.
told myself I really want to write this book about what it's like to be blind in different countries and different cultures, and especially like um, countries that are less developed, like Cambodia and Indonesia.
Mm-hmm.
I always wonder, like, what are the resources there they have to help the people who can't see? Because in America, I think we have it pretty well because there are all these programs helping us.
Right. Right.
So
Um,
that's what I wanted to do.
that's so awesome, and I want to just back up a little bit because you said something that's so interesting, and I think maybe our viewers are, maybe they're like me, which is sort of, I'm like, wow. So you studied abroad in France, right? So let's back up a little bit. That's so interesting. Tell me about that experience. You went to France, and how long were you in France for?
I was there from the end of August to
Uh-huh.
about end of December, so 4 months.
4 months. Okay, so you were studying
Mhm.
abroad in France. Was this part of your creative writing major?
No, I actually realized that I just had an opening
Mm-hmm.
in my college career, and I always kind of wanted to just travel.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, because there were times when I could still see in the first 14 years of my life that
Mm-hmm.
I could have taken a chance to travel with my
Yeah.
family. I didn't take it because, I took sight for granted.
Mm-hmm.
But now I just looked at my schedule and all the credits that I had lined up already, and my advisor told me that, yeah, I could study abroad if I really wanted to. Um, so I worked really hard, and at first I was like 50-50. I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
go because, it's a different country,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm scared.
Yeah.
I never really left home before. I
Mm-hmm.
never really left Minnesota before.
Big step.
Um,
Big step from
yeah.
Minnesota to France. Yeah.
Yeah, I so I just really worked on it. I filled out the application,
Mm-hmm.
I got it in, and when we did the sit down interviews for studying abroad, the advisor was asking me all these questions like, um, how open are you to new things, and are you picky eater and all that things. And I was really thinking about it. I'm like, I'm really going to a foreign country.
Mm-hmm.
They don't speak English.
Yeah.
Um, but I just, I did it, and it was an experience. I didn't regret it at all.
That's awesome. And so you made an interesting comment earlier that being blind in France is different than being blind in the United States here or in Minnesota. So for someone like me and other people, we're probably thinking like, how is it different for you, as someone who couldn't see, but obviously it must still be a fully different experience, right? So share with us what that difference was like, because I think it's hard for us to kind of experience that, but I think it must be extremely rich experience for you. So what was that experience like, and how was that different from Minnesota and the United States here?
It was very different from the day that I landed at Nice airport in France. I just, all I heard was French.
Yeah.
And I realized I don't know if I can do this for 4 months.
Yeah.
Because the college that I was at, they had sent someone out to pick me up from the airport. Because usually the students would have to get to the college by themselves. But for me, not knowing a lot of French and not seeing where I'm going, I was very afraid. So I made sure that it was possible for them to send someone to come and get me. But because I didn't speak much French, and because they didn't speak English, it was hard for us to communicate. And
Oh my
of
goodness.
course, I didn't know who I was looking for either.
Yeah.
But so that was, and the French culture, they're very touchy. So you greet each other with kisses on the cheek and everything. And for me, not being able to see, I have developed a kind of a bubble where I don't like people touching me unless I know who they are. So that was another big thing. And of course, when he found me, he greeted me with kisses on the cheek, and that was very surprising. And I also found out that there are other blind people in France, but their sidewalks and their light crossings and everything aren't so accessible, because
Interesting.
all the streets are made with like really, really old architecture and really old cobblestones and everything. And of course, France is beautiful and it's made to look beautiful, but it's not really helpful for someone who's walking with a dog or walking with a cane, because the sidewalks are also very small. The lights at the crossings don't beep like certain ones do here in America. And the people who drive there are different, and they really don't wait for people to cross. The Braille in France is different because it's all French Braille, and the accents are brailled right into the letters. So for me, reading Braille in English, when I went there, nothing really made sense because the French alphabet has accents and everything. And in Braille, it's brailled within the letter. So like an E could look like a G. So I was reading it and I was like, nothing makes sense to me. So,
were you able to pick up some French while you're over there?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's so fascinating, and so that kind of prompted your thought for the Holman Prize. And so, share with our listeners and the viewers here. If you win the Holman Prize, you mentioned this in your YouTube video pitch for the Holman Prize, but share with us what you'd like to do with the prize money.
So I want to use the prize money to fund my travels. And on my application that I submitted to the Holman organization, I said I want to go to a minimum of 65 countries.
Wow.
So if I could go to more, that would be amazing. But I have like all of Europe in there. And then I have all of Asia, South Africa, Australia, South America, Canada. And then, of course, within those continents, there's a little other countries in there. But I especially want to go see what just being blind is like in those cultures and what resources they have. Because I know that when I was studying in France, they had different resources than America, because in America, like, all the medicine bottles are not brailled and everything, but in France, you can find braille on all the pharmacy's medicine bottles.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and they even have braille on these soda glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but while I was in France, also I got to travel to Ireland and London and Holland, and I realized that those are very different too. Like, it's still Europe, but it's very different. And the best place that I found out that was accessible for me, just at the time, with a cane and my friends, and no dog, was Dublin, Ireland. So I would love to go back there, because I was only there for a few days, and I like to go to places like Thailand and China, and just to see how it is to be blind in those countries and what they have for resources.
So, so you would take the prize money that would fund your travels as you write a book about what blind people have to, what resources in their experience in different countries as opposed to here in the United States. Does that sound about right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting. As far as you know, are there a lot of books, or is there a lot of literature about the kind of question that you're looking to explore?
Not really. There's a handful of books that are written from blind authors, but it's usually just like a memoir about themselves.
I see.
And so I kind of wanted to do something different, and I know a lot of the other candidates, there are many other writers who are applying as well, but I have a different kind of ambition than they do.
Now, as far as you know, and probably true, there's probably not a Holman Prize winner who was Hmong before, right?
No.
I'm willing to bet there wasn't, right? So not only would you win the prize, but you'd be the first Hmong winner of the Holman Prize if you won it. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah. So again, I want to, and you probably touched on this, but I want to ask the question again, Michelle. What's motivating you to not only pursue the Holman Prize, but to write this book? Like, you've gone through the personal experience of yourself, going to France and experience what that's like there. But what's the motivation for this book? What are you hoping the book would do for us?
I am hoping that, well, for number one, I want to show people that because I am blind doesn't mean that I just sit at home.
Yeah.
And then number two, I want to be able to give back to the blind community, first of all, with this book, and show them that they shouldn't just stay at home, and that it's okay for them to travel, and if you go to this place, it's going to be like this, and they have this for help. And then thirdly, I want to show the Hmong people that that I can do things, because when I went blind, a lot of the elders in my family are just like, oh, she can't really do anything anymore. She's just going to sit at home. Like, no one's going to want to marry her. She can't do anything. And of course, like, when I'm at family gatherings and stuff, like, people bring food and stuff to me, or they hold my hand and help me to the bathroom and everything. But I think over the years, they have really come to learn that, I cook, I clean.
Right.
I wash dishes for my mom, and if it's my house, of course I know where I'm going, or if it's like my grandparents' house, the places that I've been before, I absolutely know where I'm going. So like if it's those places, then I usually do everything, but if it's like new places and stuff, I usually just sit because I have no idea where I'm going. But everyone, when my dad tells everyone that he meets that, oh yeah, I go to his daughter, she's blind, she goes to college, and she went to study in France, and she has a guide dog and everything. Like, everyone just always seems to be so amazed. And for me, I'm just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So I in the Hmong community, I automatically get a label put on me as like I can't do anything.
I think, Michelle, what you said is so well needed to be heard, and I'm glad that you could share that, because it sounds like there's two audiences that you're talking to. Number one, talking to us as us in the general community who yeah, kind of have these misconceptions about the blind, thinking that, oh, they can't do as much or they need much more help, but you're kind of proving them wrong and sort of saying, look, we can be just as independent, and not only that, but we can travel the world and write books and things like that. So I think that's so awesome to hear. And secondly, it sounds like you're also talking to people in the blind community as well, by telling them, hey, look, it's okay to travel, right? It's okay to go out in the world, and that here are some resources to help you. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, basically, if you have a goal or a dream, just go reach it.
Now, do you feel like other blind people feel intimidated to, like you said, travel the world? Do you think there is a belief that they all carry that, oh, I can't really do these sorts of things? Is that a hurdle for them to go over, you think?
Absolutely. And I think a lot of it has to do with their own family dynamics too, and what resources they have in their area. Because where I live now, there's not a lot of resources, but if I was to go into the Twin Cities or just a little further up into St. Cloud, they have bigger associations that can help people who are low vision or blind. And plus, at first, I really believed that maybe my family didn't think I could go far, because I come from a traditional Hmong family. And so I'm sure they were very proud of me when I pushed and I took my ACTs and I applied for 5 different colleges and I got accepted and everything, and I graduated high school with honors.
That's awesome.
And I do believe, because I do have some friends who are legally blind or visually impaired who are from different cultures, like Caucasian and Hispanic and everything. And I do see that some of their families are enabling them. And if they say that, oh, well, I'm blind, I can't do anything, and their family just kind of backs them up on it. Like,
I see.
And that makes me kind of sad, because, your family or the people around you aren't going to be there forever. So sometimes you're going to need to branch out and be independent and go learn things. Like, I have a friend who's been blind all his life, and he's a year older than me, and he doesn't really know how to do much. But when I ask him about stuff, he says his mom does everything for him. And I told him that what if someday your mom's not there anymore? And he couldn't really answer. So I told him that if he has a dream, he should push and maybe get more independence and go to transition programs, or go to find programs that can help you.
That's really awesome, and I'm glad that you're spurring on more people to pursue their dreams. And speaking of that, one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on Shareable Moments to share your story and what you're doing is because I want to really encourage my audience to help you to reach your goal and to fulfill your dream. And so there is I don't know too much about the steps to winning the Holman Prize, but it looks like you need the community to help you by doing what exactly? By liking your videos, is that correct?
So I have my video posted up on YouTube, and that was one of the main steps that we were all supposed to do. And at first we had to collect as many likes before March 7th, but since there are a lot of contestants this year, they changed it to March 15th.
Okay.
And they have my video also posted up on a candidate's blog on their website. And I've been sharing that too. And at the end, they will combine all the likes I receive on YouTube with the likes that I received on their website. And so right now I have about 800 or so.
Okay.
And I have about 6 days left to collect as much as I can, because I am actually right at the cutoff. So the person who gets the biggest amount of likes is automatically one of the 3 winners.
Okay.
And then the other people, they choose a top 10 from the people who get the most likes. And then after that, we go to the proposal round. And in that round, we have to propose a really, really detailed program or something of what we're going to do with the prize money and how it's going to look and how much time we need and everything. And then from those, if I make it into 10 finalists, then they would choose the final 2 to become the 3. So I'm right at the cutoff for becoming one of the 10 finalists. That would really mean a lot to me if like your audience maybe could just help support me to at least get me into the final 10, so I have a shot at getting one of the last 2 spots.
Do you know how you're doing compared to the other candidates? Do you know how many likes they're getting?
Some have very, very much on YouTube, and then some don't have a lot at all on the Holman Prize website. For me, I have a very even amount on both. But right now, the winner has about 2,000.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we can definitely get you up there, and so I will be posting a link for our viewers to go directly to. Is it better that they go to the YouTube page or the Holman page?
I think if you go click on the Holman page, it will bring you to the video as well.
Okay.
But it would, if they can like it on both, that would be great.
Okay, perfect. So, like it on YouTube, right? If they like a video on Facebook, that won't count. They have to like it on YouTube, right? Okay, awesome. Awesome, great. So I want to encourage my viewers, head over to the link that we post, go over there and like the video so that Michelle Lee could be the first Hmong winner of the Holman Prize and to also reach her goal and fulfill her dream of writing this awesome book, which I think would be extremely valuable to all of us.